welcome back to my channel. My name is Joe. Welcome back, guys. Today has been a very gloomy day so far. It's raining outside, but you know what? I prefer the rain over the snow, so I'm happy that it's not snowing outside. But it's been very gloomy. It hasn't been a long day, because you know those gloomy long days? Yeah, that's what I really hate. But this one's just been gloomy. You guys already know what this video is going to be about, but before we get into it, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. Once again, my name is Joe. Today's video is going to be about none other than Arcane. Now, before I start this video, I just want to say, I don't know anything about the League of Legends game. I don't know anything about anything else that's not this show. So this video will be based on just the show. I'm not gonna talk about the game or whatever else might be out there, because I don't know about any of those stuff. But I am gonna talk about just the anime show that came out on Netflix. So there are things that I'm not going to know, and that's okay, because we're just focusing on the show, duh. But we're gonna talk about Arcane today, and yeah, we're just gonna talk about my thoughts and stuff, guys. So for those of you guys that don't know, Arcane is this new Netflix anime show. It's called Arcane League of Legends. The show starts you off with this group of teens. We have a pink hair girl named Vi, a blue hair young girl named Powder. We have a boy named Milo, and we have a boy named Clover. I'm gonna correct myself up here if I said that wrong. So the show starts you off. First of all, I have to say, the animation I think is very, very good so far in this show. I really like how it's animated. It looks good. It looks very clean. So that's always an A+. They really do a good job when it comes to animes. Like Jurassic World is animated very well. Seven Seas is also a very good anime. So when it comes to animes, Netflix does a really good job at like making sure they're clean. So if you guys are doubtful about watching like Netflix animes, I recommend it. So Arcane starts us off with this group of young children or teenagers. I'm just gonna assume they're teenagers, and the one little girl named Powder is just a child. It starts off the show, before it even gets to the entire group, it starts off the show with just Powder, with young Powder, baby Powder, and young Vi. And it looks like they're in this kind of war, and they're looking around, and it's no words in the beginning of the show, but you can tell they're searching for someone. And then they see this guy beating someone up, and the guy looks at them and points a certain way, and then it shows this couple on the ground dead, and we assume that that's their parents. I'm assuming that's their parents, so that's what I'm gonna go with. So it looks like their parents just died or got killed in this little war, and they get carried off by Vanguard. And then it picks back up a few years later, and now we see that Vi is a young adult and Powder is a few more years older. So I want to say it takes place like 4 or 5 years later. It starts you off with them, and it looks like they're about to pull off a heist, because they're jumping from one building to another building, which honestly was very smooth jumps. And then they go into the apartment, and they start looking at stuff and taking stuff. So you can assume, because of the fact that they're pulling off a heist, that they're pretty poor. And just by the clothes that they're wearing too, you can tell that they aren't rich. They aren't rich. So they're pulling off this heist, and they're looking at artifacts and stuff. And right here we again have Milo, Vi, Powder, and Klager, and they're pulling off the heist. They're looking for stuff, and they're doing a really good job. And at one point, Powder goes off on her own, and she finds these little blue balls. She finds this case filled with blue balls. They look like electric balls. They look very important, and she ends up taking it. And right as she takes it, we hear the doorknob jiggle, and it looks like the owner of the apartment is coming back. So they're like rushing to get out, and Powder ends up dropping one of the blue balls, and that blue ball, just as they're getting out, just explodes. Honestly though, can I just say, when the blue ball exploded, I thought Vi got caught in the explosion, and I thought she was dead right then and there. And I was like, oh my god, they just really just sat here and killed this little girl in like the first 5 seconds of this show. I mean, I knew it wasn't the case because she's the main character. You're not gonna kill off a main character in the beginning of the show. I really thought she got caught in that explosion. But anyway, the building explodes, and they've been caught by the cops now. And the cops here are called enforcers. So they've been caught by the enforcers now, and now they have to run for their lives. Which they were really good at running. So now they have to run for their lives in order to make it back to where they live, and not get caught by the enforcers. So they're running, and we can kind of get a glimpse of where they're at, and it looks like a pretty rich like area. So I'm assuming, already you're assuming, okay, they must not live here. Because first of all, they were climbing a wall when they came in. But you're assuming, okay, this world is pretty divided if they have to climb a wall, number one, to get to the area that they're even heisting. But they're running and they end up losing the cops. But then after they lose the cops, they run into this guy. And this guy is just sitting there, and he asked them if he pulled out what they were doing. And they said, oh, I think Milo says that they pulled up a heist, or he says something about them pulling off a successful heist. So the guy gets up, and then 2 other guys show up, and they proceed to jump them. But Vi had the bag full of the stuff that they stole from the apartment, and she handed it off to Powder, and Powder was just sitting there all quietly, just holding on to the bag, while Vi proceeded to kick some A. It was an okay fight scene. Did Vi, I keep wanting to call her Violet, but that's not her name. I'm assuming that's not her actual name. Did Vi kick some serious behind? No, I mean, she fought all right. And then Milo and Klager fought all right too. I mean, they did pretty good. They held up their own. They held their own. They beat the crap out of these people that were trying to mug them, basically. But in the middle of them fighting, one of the guys gets knocked down right in front of Powder, and he looks up and realizes this little girl has the stuff that we're fighting for, guys. So why are we still fighting them when she's right here with the stuff? Powder automatically knew what was gonna go down because she wasn't new to this. She started running. None of the others even realized that she even ran away or was being chased. But the guy ended up chasing her. So Vi, Milo, and Klager are still fighting, and Powder is just running for her life. And she ends up hitting a dead end, but there's 2 ways that she could possibly go. So she chooses the right way and leads the guy to assume that she took the left way. However, when the guy is just about to go like the left way, of course, and they do this in every show and it always pisses me off, she ends up dropping something. So he knows that she's over there and not the other way. And it always pisses me off when shows do this, because it's kind of like, dude, if you would have just stood quiet, not moved or touch anything, you would be in the clear. But of course it's a show and you want the dramatics and stuff, so I understand. So Powder is literally about to get snatched up when she pulled a really smart move here. She just said, F this bag. F this bag with all this stuff in here that he's about to kill me for. And she just throws it onto the little lake. And down it goes. And the guy's looking at her. The guy sighs and looks down, and by the time he looks back up, Powder is gone. It's like she pulled a disappearing egg. But I think that was a smart move by her. I wasn't mad at that because, like, you about to get killed over this bag for what? So I wasn't mad at that at all. Fast forward. So that part was pretty interesting. It really is definitely a good way to start the show, because it's kind of like, what's going on? Why are they stealing all this stuff? What exactly are we doing here? But they end up talking to Powder, and Powder tells them that she threw the stuff, and they weren't happy about it. But this is where I kind of like Vi a little bit more, because she, instead of getting angry, she was just like, it's okay, it's fine, like, it's whatever. While Milo and Klager, more Milo than Klager, Milo got more upset about it, because you could just tell he's like the greedy type. But Vi was like a very big sister wise, and she just said, okay, whatever. She's probably mad on the inside, but on the outside she did a good job at not showing it. So they go back to where they live, and it's kind of this underground type city going on, or community, and I found it really cool because it's like this elevator that just leads them downstairs. It was pretty cool that they had like their own elevator thing that just goes down into their city. I don't know, I found that cool. They go back to their city and they walk into this bar where Vanger, they go back to this bar where Vanger either works or owns, and they like stomp into like the basement and just upset. I'm assuming it's a basement. It looks like it was a basement. But while they're walking in, Vanger is, you could tell already that he's a tough guy and he's very well respected around this community because of the main fact that he sees a guy, the person that pours his drinks, getting hassled out of money that these crooks owe him, and he basically says, listen, you don't want to start here. And then he looks around, he points them to the room, and the crooks look at the room, and everybody in the bar has paused what they're doing and is just ready to go hard if they needed to. So already we could tell that he's an important character and a very respected character. So I can't wait to see what's gonna go on with him. But Vanger sees them walk in, and we can kind of get the vibe that Vanger probably adopted. My co-host is back, guys. Co-host is back. We get the vibe that Vanger adopted Powder and Vi. We kind of already assumed that when he walked off with them in the beginning, after like their parents got killed. But it looks like Vanger did adopt them. So he goes and he already knows what's up because he sees Vi's face, and he had already heard about the explosion earlier. It looks like word travels pretty fast. Vanger kind of does what he has to do, and he says, I'll fix it, you just lay low. In my head, I was like, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Like, I don't think they would just automatically assume it's people from that community. Like, I don't think the explosion should have been that big of a deal. I mean, yeah, so what? They exploded a half a building. Like, what does that matter? Vanger goes ahead and he goes across the street to where they got their information of where the guy lived in that building that they were heisting. Which, by the way, the character that they got it from, they called him Little Man. I like Little Man's character so much. He is portrayed so well. From the first episode, he is portrayed really, really well. Like, he is just this little cutie pie, and you can tell he's like very smart. And I don't know, and Netflix did a very good job at that. Netflix did a very good job at that. I like how he's portrayed. But he goes across the street because he looks like he's cool with Little Man's uncle or just boss. And it looks like they're close, and they're sitting there and they're having a drink, and then here comes the enforcers, and it looks like, again, I said Vander looks like he's well respected in this community. So the enforcer captain comes down, and it looks like she and him have a deal, and she basically says, hey, listen, I know you know what happened, I know you know who did this, just give us somebody, give us a name. If you don't give me anything, I'm gonna have to come down here with my whole squad. He didn't snitch. I was like, go ahead. He did not snitch. So bravo to that. I mean, of course he wasn't gonna snitch if it was his daughters, but he basically told her no. She was like, okay, if you have anything, here's my card, please don't make me come down here. That's basically what she was saying. Please don't make me come back down here. I'm assuming in a future episode she'll probably have to come back down because I don't think he's gonna snitch on anybody. But now Vander is looking for the crooks that attacked his daughter. I'm gonna say his daughter because he adopted her. And this is where it kind of takes a turn. Like towards the end of the episode, we see that there's a villain here that's trying to go after Vander, because it looks like the people that jumped Vi and Powder and Milo and Vanger was hired by this person. And this person was about to off him for like not doing the job right, until he gave out the information that it was Vi who stole the stuff from the building. All in all though, guys, the first episode of Arcane, I really liked it. It did lose my attention at some points. I don't know if it's because I just don't know anything about League of Legends, but again, I'm just reviewing the show, so I'm hoping the show doesn't go too much into League of Legends because I don't know anything about that. But for the first episode of the show, I liked it. It could have caught my attention a little bit more, but from animation wise, it looked really good. It was really clean. I'm hoping the plot picks up a little bit faster, just because I don't expect much from the pilot, but I do expect much at the same time. But all in all, I rate the first episode a 6 out of 10. Only because, like I said, it looks like, oh my god. Only because it lost my attention at some point, but I rated a good 6 out of 10. I think that's a fair rating. Thank you guys for tuning into my video. I'm gonna continue watching this show. I'm probably gonna make a whole series on it like I did on Alice in Borderland. So stay tuned for the videos. Let me know what you guys thought of the first episode. If there's things I should know about League of Legends, comment that down below. If you're a League of Legends fan and you wanna express how you feel, comment that down below. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to love me. I'm kidding. But thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you're having a great day. It's very gloomy outside, but I hope it's sunny where you're at. If no one has told you today, you're very much loved. You're very much appreciated. You're great. You're awesome. And don't give up on your dreams. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you guys in the next video. And with that, I say, peace.